Hi, this is Shaman Weaver Sheila Baker, and we're going to talk about the season and how to have a stress-less season. At this time of the year, when really the focus used to be on spirituality and connection to the divine, Christmas was actually the Mass of Christ. So people got together and celebrated the birth of the Christ. And then things have morphed and changed into this being a time of great consumerism, where the way that we celebrate this is by buying things, and then the stress is in the what do you buy, who will appreciate it, and putting those gifts of appreciation that you've been thoughtful about, perhaps or perhaps not, onto a credit card. And then later on in January and February, there's a lot of stress that goes on with the season because you've purchased something and are then having to pay for it. So I'm going to give you some tips, some coping skills actually for this season. Some of them are going to be intellectual, and some of them are going to be in your body. I'm going to take you through a grounding and centering, being in the physical body as you go through this time of year. Before I do that, I want to give your mind some information so that when you go to be in the physical body and experience the meditation that I'm going to take you through, the mind has already got some information. So I've mentioned that this time of year used to be different. It used to be a gathering, a celebration of a birth. And now it's a celebration. We still celebrate, but it comes with a lot of angst and anxiety. So let's think about this season differently. What would it be like if instead of buying an object for someone, you had an experience with that person, perhaps a walk some afternoon, perhaps a brunch, perhaps a movie, perhaps a conversation, a meeting up for tea or coffee somewhere that you enjoy. So you share that experience with them of, first of all, coming together, taking time out of your schedule to actually be with the person rather than adding to your schedule and dashing around madly so that you can purchase the right thing, making sure that you keep the receipt in case it isn't quite the right thing. An experience is a very personal, deep connection. Now, there are folks that you can't do this with. They might not be in your immediate area. But we have all kinds of technology that allows us to reach out to people, just like I'm doing right now with you. Send people a recording, sit down. Now, there's a great idea that just got downloaded. Sit down and record some thoughts that you've got, some things that you would actually really love to share with that person if it's not possible for them to get together with you in your location. You can always, this is a lovely idea too, you can always plan a trip together so that there's a joint coming together somewhere else outside of your normal environments. So just those couple of ideas are like, maybe they're little triggers for, oh, how could I do something different? Because doing it the same old way and going into this time of the year with the anxiety rather than the excitement, it's not really working for most of us. And I'm going to give you a very physical tip. The physical tip is that physiologically in the body, there is no difference in the way that the body responds to anxiety versus excitement. The physiology is exactly the same. The terminology is different. The mind loves to grab onto little things that it's experienced before and tell you it's the same as this. So perhaps one of the best things that you can do this season to be less stressed is tell your mind that what you're feeling is excitement rather than anxiety. You might have to do this 400 times to get through the happy holidays. But your mind is trainable. It's trained you and you've trained it to recognize these things that we feel in the body as anxiety. So now you get to train your body to go, oh, I'm feeling this. I'm going to label it differently. That different label makes all the difference. If you think about your children, if you have them, or your animals, if you have them, my kids are different than the kids. I begin to own these children. My dog is different than your dog. There's a possession there. So as you begin to talk to your mind about possessing this excitement as opposed to labeling it anxiety, you'll notice that your attitude begins to change. People talk about fighting the traffic. Well, what about if you were just engaging in the traffic? There's a whole difference in attitude and physiology in the body when you just make that one word shift. So that's one of the things that I'm going to suggest to you for a stressless season, is that you don't get upset about going shopping. You begin to think, oh, what experience could I have for the same amount of money? You begin to think, oh, I'm feeling excited about this rather than anxious. You begin to set the tone for how things are going to be. If there's a troublesome person in your life that you only see at this time of year, you're going to begin to just see them differently, see your conversation differently. You can rehearse this even. You can say, you know what, usually I get together with this person and this thing happens and I react like this, and then feelings are hurt and whatever else it is that goes along. So perhaps you can begin to rehearse that when this thing comes up and gets said, that you have your protection up and it comes and you notice that you're not reacting to it. This rehearsing is a really wonderful thing. Rehearsing ahead of time, feeling excited about going out shopping or excited about stopping buying and having an experience. Those kinds of things will begin to, they shift the energetics internally. Just saying anxiety begins to set off a vibration, and saying excitement sets off a different kind of vibration. So these neuro-linguistic programming tips that I've just given you will really enhance your experience of this upcoming season so that you can stress less and have more bliss. Also, I told you I was going to talk about the intellect engaging the mind so that we can now engage the body. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, just begin to feel your sit bones if you're sitting. Those are the ones at the bottom of your butt there. Your feet, if they're touching the ground, begin to feel those. And we're just going to take a really nice inhalation, and inhaling through the nose and exhaling through a little round Cheerio of lips. So just let's go ahead and do that all together. And then just one more time, maybe rolling your shoulders around and down while you're doing it. So inhaling, rolling the shoulders, exhaling, allowing the shoulders to drop down. Just wiggle your fingertips. And just one more breath. Now, from the bottom of your feet, just imagine, we're going to use our imagination, it's gateway to the soul. So we're going to imagine that on the bottom of the feet there's little root hairs. And these little root hairs descend down through whatever surface your feet are in. And they descend down, down, down. So no matter if you're on the 21st floor or if your feet are right on the ground, root hairs are going to descend down, down, down. And while they're descending down, you're going to focus on your breath. And you're going to label your breathing. Inhaling and exhaling. Rising and falling. Or merely in and out. Root hairs descending down past the gravel and the boulders, past the underground rivers and lakes, down through all of the strata, inhaling and exhaling, rising and falling, in and out. Root hairs descending down, down, down to the core of Mother Earth. And if you have a good imagination, you'll be able to feel these root hairs, the warmth drawing up, all the way up, past the underground rivers and lakes, past the strata, past the gravel, past the boulders, all the way up, up, up to the soles of the feet. And as this energy, this warmth comes into the soles of the feet, imagine it like warm liquid honey filling the feet and the ankles, raising up to the knees, past the thighs to the hips. Inhaling and exhaling, rising and falling. The mind's eye, the warm liquid honey comes up to fill the pelvis, the lower abdomen, around and through the waist, through the upper abdomen, across the front of the chest and the back of the shoulders, cascading down to fingertips, raising up through the neck and throat, through the jaw, past the nose and the ears and the eyes, all the way up to the top of the head. And just imagine that the crown chakra at the top of the head just opens up, and this warm liquid honey comes up and meets the air, and it turns into sparklers like on a kid's cake, cascading all the way back down to the ground and through all the layers, past the underground rivers and lakes, past the strata, down, down, down to the core, where it mingles with the warmth coming up through the root hairs, all the way up, filling the body once again. So now there's warm, liquid, sparkly honey filling the body all the way to the crown, cascading up and back down again. So now you're a torus of energy. And just take a breath in that. And And we can anchor this in our bodies by pressing our thumb and our middle finger together and just rotating it in a little circle. So the pads of the fingertips are circulating. And if you're feeling calm and peaceful, then just anchor that by giving it a little press. If you're not quite calm and peaceful yet, take another breath and let it out. And you might find that you need to do that a couple of times. Now, this anchoring of this feeling in the body, the circles that you're making with your fingertips, you can also use this to raise your energy. So now, just go ahead and open your eyes brightly, press your fingertips together, and notice that you're more alert, you're more awake. And now very softly, release the fingertips, go back to just nice little circles, soften your eyes, and notice that you come to feel a little more relaxed, a little more calm. And once again, we're going to do this. We're going to press the fingertips together with great gusto and feel that brightening your eyes, taking a different kind of breath. And there you are, feeling calm but energetic. And now just go ahead and release the fingers. And now you have a body experience. We gave your mind an experience of looking at things differently, calling something different than you've called it in the past. So we got in and we've done just a little interrupt there. You've got a beautiful meditation for yourself that any time that you choose to, you can do. And in preparation for things, this is a really lovely exercise. So I call out to you to use it whenever you like. Pass it along. Do it with your friends. Maybe even do it with your family. How cool would that be? So now you have some tips for how to be less stressed in this season. So have a stress-less season. And if there's anything that I can do for you, with you, to help you feel more grace and ease, more vitality, more energy, more whole, healthy, and happy, I'd be delighted. And you can email me at Sheila, SHIELA, at shamanweaver.com, or check out my website. And there's a free meditation on the website that's a chakra clearing, harmonizing, and balancing. So that's my gift to you this season. Enjoy, be blessed, and remember to love yourself first and then everyone else. Aho, bliss.